Yo, what's up guys, my name is Mr. Freeze2244 and in this video we'll be covering the full-bodied assassination challenge that got added to the game today, which unlocks you a new suit in Dartmoor. So the first section of the video will be covering that challenge and a showcase of the suit, and the second portion of the video will be covering today's patch notes, which there's some surprise like changes in the patches as well. So stay tuned for that. So the first portion of the video will be covering the full-body challenge, so let's get into it. So the full-body challenge got added to Dartmoor today, and the task is to eliminate 3 targets with the open grave that unlock you the Sangfroid Suit. Now, as you know, Dartmoor doesn't have 3 targets. You have to create your own contract or find a community contract that's already been created for you to help you complete this challenge. I created a contract on PS5 with these specific 3 targets. You need to have these 3 targets as the easiest ones. The contract code is on the screen right there. For those of you who are on PlayStation, if you're on Xbox or PC, you're going to have to recreate this yourself, of course. But we're going to start on the main road, and we're going to start with the signature suit with the default items as well. I'm going to show you how to do this contract once you've created it. Basically, pick those 3 targets, eliminate them any way you want to, and then just replay your own target. It's just as simple as that. It's very, very easy. It takes you like 2 minutes, not even that. So you can... The first thing we need to do is make sure we get ourselves the detective disguise. Now, if you have the disguise unlocked already in Dartmoor because you've got a high mastery level, go ahead and start in that position if you would like to. It will make it a lot more faster for you. Alternatively, if you don't have that, we're going to start over here and we're going to knock out this gardener and drag her over to the bushes. We're going to do this as quickly as we can because we don't want the detective over there by the ridge to see us. Obviously, we don't have to bother with Silent Assassin with this, but it does... help create the perfection of it all, the whole Silent Assassin thing. Anyway, we're going to stick on the garden disguise once the body's well hidden, and we're going to wait for the detective to get close by. And once he does, we're going to chuck a coin to distract him, making sure that it's close enough to him that it doesn't distract the maid. So once he stops here, we're going to chuck a coin right there next to the rock. That's just to get him closer to us. We need to retrieve these coins after as well, because we are going to need them. After he's picked up the first coin and started to walk away, go ahead and chuck the second one. Otherwise, it's not going to react to the second coin, because that's just how NPCs work in this game. But once he's in the bushes, go ahead and subdue him. Keep his body hidden in the bushes and go ahead and take his disguise. Once you've done that, retrieve the coins, so you have 3. And now we can head over to where the 3 targets are. So they're going to be all by the gravesite. So this is going to be easy. It should work every time because that's where the positions of the people are going to be.
I think so.
So one of them is going to be the main person who's conducting the funeral, and 2 of them are going to be gardeners that are just hanging around, which is easily going to be reacting to coins. So it's like I said, this is nothing tricky, nothing difficult about this contract. It's really easy. If you're worried about distracting different people as well, you can add them to the contract if you'd like. So you can cut down on the fear of actually distracting the wrong person, but it's truly is simple. First thing you need to do is place a coin right by the gravesite, right on the edge there. Use that by pushing L1 and R1 together and pressing triangle to place the coin, or LB and RB and Y. I'm not sure what it is on PC, I always forget. Once you've kicked him into the gravesite, chuck a second coin by the gravesite. That's going to distract the second gardener and pick up that coin that you threw. The reason why you want to do that is because you want him to see the first one, so he gets closer to the grave. And then kick him in. And you want to do the same thing again, so it distracts the third person. Again, retrieve the coin that you threw, so she sees the coin by the gravesite, so she gets closer to it. Obviously, there's multiple ways of doing this as well. I mean, you could probably throw a distraction, an audio distraction in the gravesite, so it constantly just keeps distracting people, but I'm not sure about the audio range on that. Obviously, the audio range is not as big as throwing a coin in this game. But you can experiment around with that. I would recommend the flash phone or the Napoleon blown apart for those sort of things. But the problem with the audio distractions, you can't turn them off once you turn them on. So you know, it can be a little bit out of control. But anyway, that's how you basically do the contract, how you do the challenge. Once you've kicked all 3 of them in, you'll have the challenge pop up for you in the top right corner. You don't actually have to finish the contract. As soon as it pops up for you, you can back straight out. You'll automatically have the suit in your inventory. I'm just doing this to show you that you've actually completed the challenge there, and then it unlocks right at the end. So in the next portion, I'm going to show you, showcase the suits a little bit more, but that's the unlock right there. So let's get into it. So as always, I like to showcase on the catwalk in Paris. So the description is this crisply tailored ensemble is the colour of 2 of life's great essentials, fine wine and cold blood. It doesn't really describe the suit very well. I think they're starting to lose a bit of creativity when it comes to, well, it's a bit like me on my videos really, isn't it? They're losing a bit of creativity when it comes to the description of these suits. They're supposed to be actually describing the suit, not just coming up with a thing. But, you know, I couldn't come up with a thing either, so I don't blame them. But yeah, it pairs quite nicely with the meaty bone, you know, and the Red Trinity pistol. I thought this was basically what the Red Trinity suit should have been, because it just looks a better color overall. I think more of like a blood red rather than like a proper sharp red. Is that a thing? Sharp red? I'm not sure. I know. Wait, I'm gonna show you this suit in Whittleton Creek as usual as well, so you can see it in the daylight and the sunlight. But surprisingly, it's actually pretty decent. It's like it's basically a reskin of the Whittleton Creek suit. I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember the name of the actual suit itself now, but it's basically a reskin of that. But it's a good one, and I think it fits a 47 quite well. So let's show you what it looks like in Whittleton Creek. So as you can see, it's not too like vibrant or anything like that. It's like a proper blood red color, and I quite like it. The contrast between the black shirt and the redness. The only problem I have really is the tie is a bit more of a richer red than the actual suit itself. It doesn't match the same colors. But with the gloves as well, because they're not driving gloves either, they're proper the actual ones, the proper actual leather gloves. It looks pretty good, especially with the standard pistol as well. So. Yeah, I quite like it. So, is it worth getting this suit? If you like suits, sure. If you're a collectible of these kind of things, yeah. I mean, at this point, there's so many suits in the game. It's just, I don't know. What more ideas can they come up with to unlock more suits? I really don't know. Oh yeah, by the way, this is from the recent Twitch drop, that crowbar, before you ask. But yeah, that's the suit. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you think about this, and yeah. Good luck with the challenge. So for this next portion of the video, I'm going to be covering the patch notes that got released today, which is 3.240.3 patch. It's a bit of a mouthful, that, but I'll leave a link to the description in the description of the patch itself. They've actually messed it up. It says patch notes January 1/1. I don't know. They all seem to do this. I'm not sure why. But so I'll read through the patch notes, and yeah. So let's get into it. It says. Intro. Welcome to the new round of patch notes with a more than 80 bug addressed, including improvements and fixes to the Celebrity Elusive Target mission in featuring Bruce Lee, the Elusive Target arcade timer, as well as for the PC VR version of Hitman Wall of Assassination. Patch details. Hitman Wall of Assassination will be updated to version 3.240.3 on all platforms. Patch release time at 11 AM UTC, so you should have the patch notes by the time this video goes out. The patch size is between 1.5 and 12.9 gig. And starting with the number one changes, Elusive Target Arcades, the timer update. It says, Elusive Targets have always had a special feel to them, with all the tension that comes when you know that failure comes with a consequence. As highlighted by our community, for Elusive Target Arcade, the current reset timer of 12 hours felt too long of a time to spend away from your next attempt. As such, based on your feedback, we are bringing the cooldown timer to 30 minutes. This change aims to keep the signature tension that comes with the consequences of failing the mission, while allowing players to jump back in and replay missions at a quicker pace. That is a load of rubbish. That is the most rubbish excuse I've ever heard. It's just a way to retain players. They have changed the timer to 30 minutes down from 12 hours purely because they don't want you to just stop playing. Yeah, that's what it is, really. People have been complaining about looser target timers for a long time. Since arcade contracts came out, they can be complaining about the regular looser targets, but these days you get 2 months to complete on a looser target, so they're hardly elusive. Especially when they keep returning every like couple of months or so. So they're hardly elusive targets anymore. And how does cutting the timer down to 30 minutes still retain the tension? It makes no sense other than to trying to retain players playing the game. Because obviously, if you're slightly interested in this Bruce Lee looser target and you're a free starter pack player, you'll have one attempt, you can't do it, you'll fail, and you're like, I'm not waiting 12 hours, screw this game. And you'll go and play something else. Tell me I'm wrong. I know a lot of people are going to be saying, no, I wanted the timer cut down. But yeah, sure. There has been a lot of people talking about it, but they're using that as an excuse to cut down the timer, in my opinion. Anyway, moving on to the next portion. Bruce Lee Elusive Target Mission Reset. This upcoming patch will resolve issues affecting the Bruce Lee Elusive Target mission, including bugs that could prevent successful completion and improvements to make objectives clearer. As a result, the mission's status will be reset for all players who previously failed it, allowing another opportunity to complete the contract. So even when you fail, they're still giving you another chance anyway. I remember back in Season 1, way back in 2016, they said elusive targets are never going to return. You've only got one single chance. You've got 48 hours to do it, and that's it. If you fail, you've lost forever. But now... And there was bugs back then too. You know, just keep that in mind. There was bugs back then too, but, you know, back then they didn't seem to care. This reset will occur automatically when connecting to the server for the first time after the patch has been deployed. Players who have already successfully completed the mission will not be affected. Once the patch is live, please ensure it is downloaded to experience the mission under optimal conditions, as the reset will only occur once per player. So if you failed this elusive target, the Bruce Lee, the Dragon elusive target, whatever it's called, recently, you'll be allowed to play it again, if you'd like, with some like quality of life changes. I don't know what the quality of life changes are. They haven't mentioned it. But moving on. Bruce Lee Pack Reminder. The Bruce Lee Pack will be available on storefronts until November 20th. This is a bit strange, this one. After this date, it will be removed from digital stores. It may be available during future mission reruns. So they've already decided that it's going to come back eventually. I'm not sure why they've done this. Now, someone did tell me that this is only available for a limited time, the DLC pack I'm talking about. But I don't understand why. I understand why they did it with a Disruptor. That's a completely different story. But when it comes to the Bruce Lee pack, why take it off the stores after November 20th? I'm not sure. Maybe they only had image rights until then. Maybe that's the only reason. I can't think of anything else. I don't know. But it just doesn't... I don't know. I can't understand why. Let me know in your thoughts in the comments what you think of that. Why would they remove it after November 20th? They've never done that before. Especially with the elusive target, celebrity elusive targets, because it's the DLC packs. Why would it have a time limit on them? It makes no sense. So if you are wanting to get that DLC pack, get it now while you can. Otherwise, you're going to lose the opportunity until they eventually bring it back. If they do it, and if you wanted to, if you need some information on how, if it's worth buying the pack, then I'll leave a link in the description of a video showcasing all the items that come with the DLC and letting you know my thoughts on whether it's worth getting or not. So moving on to the new features and improvements. PSVR 2 and PC VR. This is the VR section stuff. Obviously. Shake it off. Players can now shake their inventory to make illegal items fall to the ground instead of having to pick them up one by one and drop them to the ground. Infiltrator featuring Bruce Lee. Jigsaw. We've reworked the puzzle surrounding the combination of Xiaohu's safe. The glowing boat is no more. Getting the memo. We added a new piece of intel to guide players through the potential steps to take when Agent Lee has been poisoned. So instead of letting the player figure it out for themselves, like they should, you're now going to get your hand held. Those of you who watch my videos are used to that anyway. The final countdown. We have built upon the Agent Lee has been drugged hint. It now indicates that how many rounds are left before Agent Lee must fight, along with when he begins to fight. Okay, so it wasn't just like a PSVR stuff. Maybe it was just that one section, I'm not sure. All platforms, gameplay, read all about it. Players may have noticed that the newspaper now knocks down NPCs instead of pacifying them. This change has been made intentionally. Why have you only made it exclusively for the... Okay. Oh, whatever. Alright. Bug fixes. The Infiltrator featuring... Why did they do that? Like, it makes sense, but who cares, man? Just... Why do they even bother? It just makes no sense. Who cares, man? Of all the things. Whatever, man. Whatever. I'm sure there's more amusing things that actually does knock them out with, like, stuff like that. Let me know in the... What you might think those items are. Bug fixes. The Infiltrator featuring Bruce Lee. Here's all the bug fixes. Patience is a virtue. We fixed an issue where Agent Lee would not continue his routine after reaching the Concord members sitting at the table in the bar area after his first loop. Judging silently. We solved an issue where Agent 47, when disguised as the judge, would not deliver any dialogue lines if the leader was absent from the final fight against Agent Lee. Judge interference. We've fixed an issue where talking to the judge to replace Agent Lee in a fight would, at certain times, prevent the duel from starting. For example, if it was used after Agent Lee's opponent was already standing on the arena mat. Judging wrongly. We solved an issue where the judge did not deliver the correct line if the leader was absent from the fight against Agent Lee. God mode. We fixed an issue where replacing Agent Lee in a fight at a specific moment would lead to Agent 47 fighting the opponent telepathically and being invulnerable for the duration of the fight. Memento. We fixed an issue where the leader would suspend his routine after delivering a specific line. Deadly but silent. We fixed an issue where Zhang Zhen Wu Shang, I don't know how to pronounce that name, I'm sorry, would not deliver his dialogue lines with his fellow gang members. I demand a rematch. We solved an issue where fights during the tournament would be repeated if a fighter was poisoned after being declared the winner, but the opponent was still on the mat. Health Inspector. We solved an issue where Zen would not eat the fugu fish if Agent 47 prepared the food, but another NPC was standing behind the table. Tag Team. We solved an issue where Agent 47 would be able to replace Agent Lee in the arena even after the fight had started. Waiting for the right one. We solved an issue where the judge would indefinitely repeat a dialogue line if the leader or Agent Lee did not attend the final fight. Not following the recipe. We solved an issue where Zen didn't ask for the fugu while Agent 47 was banning the buffet. Rematch. We solved an issue where the leader would not fight Agent Lee if he defeated Jiao Hu in the final of the tournament. We heard you the first time. We solved an issue where two members of the kitchen staff talking about fugu would keep delivering the same conversation when Agent 47 was nearby and would only assume their routine if 47 left the kitchen. That is funny. Didn't they have a bug like that in Sapienza? When they was talking about... oh man, I can't remember now. There's the two guys in the bathrooms underneath the ice cream shop. You'll know what I mean. Silent praise. We've solved an issue where the dialogue line from the leader would be missing when checking the tributes located in his room. Yin and Yang. We solved an issue where the paralytic antidote used the same inventory images as the paralytic poison, despite it being a bottle of pills rather than a vial. Disassociative voices. We solved an issue where some NPCs will react to fights or distractions in different voices. Okay. In efficient waiter, we fixed an issue where quickly pressing the serve prompt while using the bar set piece after poisoning a drink would lead to a soft lock, with players having to wait to serve a second NPC before being able to leave. I am spent. We solved an issue where disqualifying any contestant while they are performing their finishing move would cause their opponent to get stuck in a knocked out state, blocking further progress in the tournament. So many bugs, isn't there? Just for one single target. Wrong place, wrong time. We've solved an issue where a tournament would get stuck in an Agent 47 found trespassing on the mat while Agent Lee was fighting. Missing hint. We fixed an issue where the prompt to officiate as the judge on the podium would not show the prompt title if 47 was wearing a valid disguise. Match fixing. We fixed an issue where the tournament progress would come to a stop if one of the contestants were killed mid-match. Successful escape. We solved an issue where 47 would not be treated as hostile by members of Concord Union while disguised as the captive and would simply be escorted out of the event area. The odd one out. Fixed an issue where 47 would be perceived as trespassing in the north wing of the hotel, no matter which disguise he would have on, even staff or security disguises. The trespassing rules are now updated to reflect the mission setting and the NPCs present. Room for one more? We solved an issue where NPCs would start bench pressing while an NPC's dead body was still on it. That's funny. You are so clever. We fixed an issue where the progress of the tournament would be blocked when some of the NPCs would slip on a banana placed on the mat during the fight with Bruce Lee. Gameplay. Mighty Strength. We fixed an issue where the bench press setup in the mission would not always kill the NPC using it. UI. Partially censored. We solved an issue where the health and timeout bars shown while fighting would become misaligned at screen resolutions other than 1080p. Localization lost in translation. We fixed an issue where the subtitles for one of Xiao Hu's dialogue lines would not appear on screen. We also added translations for some missing copy. The description of the pie in the hole. Pie in the hole? You mean in the pie hole challenge? Translated. They've even got that wrong. They've translated that wrong. Translated subtitles for a part of the conversation between Agent 47 and Agent Lee, as well as objectives, intel entries, and blend-in prompts. PC VR gameplay. All flights have been grounded. We fixed an issue where an NPC could go flying away after being choked out or garroted. Render. One more button. This is for PC VR. We added the option to toggle dynamic resolution scaling in VR. We also solved an issue where shadows would appear in the left eye of the headset when looking at reflective/transparent surfaces. Pesterous Periphery. We've solved an issue where random artifacts could be seen around your field of vision, which in certain situations could become visible. Uniformity. We've solved an issue where the atmospheric scattering quality setting would not apply to the whole field of view, causing a darker outline to appear around the edges. The next section is for PC VR and PSVR 2. Gameplay. Wrong set. We've solved an issue in Ambrose Island where the key obtained from the office to free Agent Smith would not work to open the cell. Trust in the Force. We solved an issue where playing in VR mode, where setting the precision aim option to toggle for flat mode would make it impossible to use the assist laser in VR. The only way to enable it again was to turn off VR mode and then change the option to flat mode. Clumsy 47, we fixed an issue where attempting to store items in a briefcase while moving it was closer to your chest could potentially result in a partial inability to take them out. More fiber needed. We fixed an issue where the fiber wire could not always register when being primed for use. Environmental art. Tumble dried. We've made the cloth bundle less shiny and held to more accurately resemble its appearance when placed. UI, a few less buttons. We've removed various graphic settings available for modification from the options menu while playing in VR, as those options were not valid when VR is active. Level design. World-class security system. We solved an issue in Hawke's Bay where Agent 47 could die after crouching by the south edge of the roof on Alma's roof. Freelancer. Lost baggage. We fixed an issue where Agent 47 could spawn without his briefcase, an item meant to be stored within when spawning in certain locations. Level design. False start. We have fixed an issue in Freelancer where players would be able to move Agent 47 during the start of the mission before the introduction would start, which potentially led to death, alerting, or failing the mission. Certificate of Authenticity. We solved an issue in Freelancer where it would not be possible to complete the knife kill payout objective with a Jade Dagger or Golden Dragon Scissors. Wrong swipe. We fixed an issue where using the keycard reader to unlock the terminal in Dubai would fail if the doors stay locked objective despite not unlocking any doors. Weaponry update. We solved an issue where using the remote explosives dropped from suspects would not count towards explosive kill remote objective and the remote controlled challenge. So that's that section. Environmental art, sinking feeling. We have fixed an issue where the ATV in the safe house would fall under the ground if it was selected in the garage. Next portion is for all platforms. Forget me now. We fixed an issue where using close combat to knock out an NPC could erroneously cause their unconscious witness status to be instantly removed. Players must throw a blunt object at a knocked out NPC's head to remove their witness status. However, removing the witness status does not restore the silent assassin status and is akin to storing an unconscious body in a container. Elusive device. We fixed an issue where NPCs were able to notice and pick up the remote micro audio distraction device when activated, despite supposedly being imperceptible. Magic container. We solved an issue in the Isle of Scale and Santa Fortuna where the lid of certain container would turn invisible when Agent 47 got inside and became misaligned when he emerged, potentially revealing the sins hidden within. Elite shooter. We fixed an issue where the toggle aim button would also be applied when focusing in and having a weapon without having a weapon equipped. For my next trip, we fixed an issue where Agent 47 was able to throw items while standing directly in front of a wall, causing said items to fly away unpredictably. Psychic. We solved an issue where NPCs that were shot from afar would know Agent 47 was responsible for it and compromise him without approaching. Yeah, I hate that. Let's read that again. We solved an issue where NPCs that were shot from afar would know Agent 47 was responsible for it and compromise him when approaching them, even if he was unseen. This fix should particularly be the help of speedrunners skilled in long-distance shots. That's always bothered me. It's been a while since, they've actually talked about that. So that is actually a big fix. That is actually a big fix right there. Lighting. Replicas. We fixed an issue where certain locations' lighting would appear broken outside of main missions. This was most obvious in Freelancer when starting in the morgue in Hokkaido. Character art. Back to the tailor. We fixed an issue where the material used in the vest of the Devil's Own suit would not match the jacket or the material initially used. Level design. Catharsis. We solved an issue in Sapienza where Agent 47 could be seen sitting in the air after using the pillow to smother Caruso. Invasive director. We solved an issue where the camera could be moved when Agent 47 disguised as a prisoner kills Zidane. Bookwalker. We fixed an issue where Agent 47 would be able to walk on books placed around the body container in the observatory, making it harder for players to use said body container, especially in VR. For Xbox One, who did what now? We solved an issue where the count names on the leaderboards would not appear at all. For PC, freeze. From the player's experiences in freezes on the Intel Arc A750, after entering the movie set area in the icon, updating your drivers to the latest version should resolve any issues linked to it. Render. Complete frame. Following a performance drops identified after patch 3.240.1 was released, we've introduced a fix that should restore performance close to pre-patch levels. Performance anxiety. We've solved the crash that could occur when attempting to run a benchmark for Dartmoor. And finally, UI. Solved in one click. We've solved an issue where binding inventory to mouse buttons 4 and 5 would require holding the button instead of a single click. And that concludes the patch notes for today. So, in the entirety of the video, I covered the new challenge that came out today, and I've covered the patch notes for 3.240.3. So, there we go. Any questions you've got, leave them in the comments. Any comments that you've got to make about any of this stuff. More also interested to know your thoughts in the comments as well. But that is going to do it for me in this video. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Feel free to drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and click the bell icon to be notified of all future videos and live streams. Consider supporting me on Patreon or even becoming a member of the channel by clicking the join button below and clicking the link in the description for all the details. And I shall see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. See you later. Cheers.